Hey everybody, last night my husband and I were invited to some people that we know from our church to their house for dinner. Had a fabulous time. It was so much fun. Trish was busy. She is a horticulturalist. I'm not exactly sure what you would call her, but she loves to propagate plants and sell them. And her husband helps with it as well. So I took her, luckily yesterday for a hostess gift, I took her a plant because it was Earth Day, and I thought, that's a nice gift. I didn't even know that she loved plants already. But after I learned about her love of plants and saw all this stuff that she did, I knew I had to make her a gift this morning to take to church, again as a thank you. So I got this really cute design from Designs by Juju, and I was going to make it just the way it comes. Then I thought at the last minute I should personalize it by putting their name at the bottom here and the date. So join me at in the software and let's get started, and I'll show you how to do this. Okay, here I am on my computer, and you can see I've already downloaded this on the right hand side, and I'm going to open it up. Once it's opened up, you see it's a zip folder, so I'm going to extract it, extract all, and I'm going to leave it to stay at my downloads folder where it comes up automatically, and also I'll check show extracted files when finished and extract. Okay, there they're extracting, and here are all the files that were extracted. Now because I only use a brother machine, that's the only file format I need. So I'm going to highlight all of these, hold down my control key, and click on the ones I just want to keep. So then the ones highlighted are the ones I wanted to delete. So I'll delete those. And then I'll only be left with the Pez, which is what I need for my brother, and two other files. I'll open up the Pez folder, and you can see all of these different files. If I right click, I can tell it to show view extra large or large icons, and I can do that and it shows them because I have a thumbnailer. Okay, I'm going to choose the 5x7. There it is. There's a 6x10, all different sizes here, and 8x8, but I'm going to choose the 5x7 because I think that will be perfect for my towel. And I'll just double click on it to open it. When I double click on it to open it, it's going to automatically open it into Embrilliance. Okay, hopefully you can see it's opening up with the frame right here that's too small, or you can see it doesn't fit because of the red down below. So I'm going to switch that by coming up here, and when this menu pops up, I'm going to choose the 5x7 hoop. Now you'll notice mine does say 5x7, and that's because I edited it, which you can do and I show in another video. So there it is, it's in the 5x7 perfectly. And then let's look at the stuff in the objects panel over here. And I don't really like the colors that it shows up at here, so I can go back and look in Designs by Juju to see what colors they used. Okay, here are the colors they used, and I went through my Floriani threads and tried to find some threads that kind of matched it. Now, this is not anything you need to do, but an example is my leaves came in and they were a silvery color. I wanted them to be green. If you want them to look correct on your screen, you can do this. All you do is come over here to the Objects panel, click on the item you want to change. So with the Brother Silver selected, which is the leaves and the greenery here, I come over here to the Properties panel and click on the color swatch here. And I'm going to change it to what I wanted it to be. So I could change it to some Floriani, and I actually looked up the number, but I'm not going to go through that with you guys right now because that would take too long. So I'll just choose one of these. I'll choose a willow green and say okay. So now all of my things are green. Now, it's not going to matter over there at my machine. This is just for my own visual purposes, and I can see what it's going to look like. So I could go through here and change all the rest of these as well until I'm happy with them. But recall now that I wanted to change it, so I didn't want it to say home is where my plants are and just have these leaves under here. But anyway, so I'm going to go now to this thing because I want to get rid of it and I want to put text in instead. I'm going to run the Stitch Simulator. I'm going to go ahead, and when I get to the silvery color, no, when I get to the very end where these leaves are, right, I'm going to let it play with these buttons right here, the blue ones. And I'm going to let it go bit by bit. And I can move it forward a little bit because I know this first group I still want. So then I can start going bit by bit. So this is the one that lets you go one stitch at a time. And if you can see right here, let's see if we scroll and if you can see it better. Right here, you'll see the crosshairs moving. Can you see it moving? When it gets down to the very bottom of this, right when it gets to the next one, I'm going to stop it. Watch. It's getting very close, so I can start doing one at a time. Oh, it's got to do these couple leaves down here. I forgot. There's one there and there's one there. And now it's going to get ready to jump. Okay, it jumped way over here. So I need to use the back arrow button. Look here at the crosshairs. I'm going to go back, back. See it moving? Until it jumps right back to here. And then I'm going to hit the stop button. When I hit the stop button, the thread color chart comes up, allowing me to change its color. I'm going to change it to something willy-nilly that's not in my design. So that orange, and say OK. So thereafter, everything is going to be that orange color. All right, I don't want this to stitch at all. So I'm just going to go ahead and click on that and hit delete on my keyboard. So now we have what we want so far. Let's go ahead and double click on the word hoops down here at the bottom. That makes that spin 90 degrees. I'm going to grab everything over here in the objects panel and come back up here and do this button right here that says rotate 90 degrees clockwise. There we go. So that's what we have so far. But remember, I wanted to put my friends' names down here. So to do that, all I did was come to the Create Letters button. And obviously it comes in with the ABC, which I don't want. And I made mine really small lettering because I have merrily. If you don't have merrily, you won't be able to use these same letters that I did. But I'm sure you can find some kind of letters. Or you may decide that you'd like to get merrily now. Because you can make really small letters like this with merrily. So if I wanted it to say the Caruso family, whoopsie, gotta come over here and do it. The Caruso family 2024, hit enter, and there it is, the Caruso family 2024, and I put a little extra dash in there when I don't want a slash. Enter. So it could be just like that, and they're perfect little letters. I love it. So of course I could change those to any color of thread I want, and this is all I really need. Now, oh my hoop is hiding all of a sudden. Some of you have had trouble with this. If you just hit the letter H on your keyboard, the hoop comes back. Okay, so there it is. So that makes me think maybe I want to move our names over. Whoops, not that one by itself. Just the whole thing. There we go. All right, just like that. So now this one's ready to stitch out, and I'm going to show you stitching this out on my machine over there. But before that, we're going to go to File, Save Stitch File. I could say Save Stitch and Working. Suppose I want to do the same thing again, and I just want to change the name and do it for somebody else. So if I save my working file, it's really easy to change it. But I'm just going to save the stitch file as, and I need to make sure I save it as a PES file. If it comes in at something else, my machine's not going to see it over there. So if you try to open something on your machine and you can't find it, it might be that you have the wrong type of file. If you're saving it on, I'm saving it into my downloads because I'm going to move it over there wirelessly. If you have to save it on a USB drive, click this down arrow and look here until you find your USB drive. I won't find one because I don't have one plugged in right now. It has to be plugged into my machine. But so I'm just going to save mine into my downloads like this, name it whatever I want, and here they are. And I'll say save. And that's it for this part. Okay, before I take this to my machine, I do want to print out a template of it. There's my print preview, and you can see I already have the snowman there. Now, how in the world did I get the snowman? Well, let me show you. You come up here to Edit, and then you come to Preferences, and you come to where it says Printers. On Printers, make sure that you have Print Alignment Snowman checked. And that's how easy it is, so that when you do your printing of your template, there he'll be. Okay, one of the first things I do to get ready is I always like to use Terial Magic on my towels because I think it makes them really nice for embroidery. And if you look here, you can see the difference. This side is where I use the Terial Magic. It really has a nice stability to it, whereas this side I didn't even press or iron. But I really like using the side that the Terial Magic has been used on. Now, I also my stabilizer comes on a roll and it always curls up on me, so I just tapped my iron to it, which made a nice flat sheet. I do like to use these magnetic hoops, and so I'm going to put that's a tearaway stabilizer that I'm going to use. And here in the background you can see the colors that I've chosen. So off screen I'm folding my towel in half so I know where the halfway point is. There we go, and I'll line that up. Now I am using the snowman, but it's not going to be able to do exactly what it can do when you have a machine that has the light, the laser beam. But I can use it to help line up more easily than just using the crosshairs, especially if you can't see that well or the crosshairs didn't print out that darkly. So here I am. I'm going to put the second part on. I like to fold it up in there and then make sure its edges are correct and then just let it go down without pinching me. And I'm going to make sure that the zero marks right at here and here are lined up with the line that I made on the towel. Okay, that looks pretty good. So it's at this point that I'm going to be bringing in my template onto which I have printed the snowman sticker. It's not really a sticker anymore, of course, it's just printed. As you can see, I'm right there. And I'm going to line up, and I'm going to get a ruler to make sure that those lines, the crosshairs, are matching up with the 0 and the 0. So I really like to do that. And by the way, I forgot, I do use temporary spray adhesive on this. Originally, I started using pins, but I really much prefer using the temporary adhesive instead of pins. So I'll get that out in just a sec when I remember it. LOL. Okay, you'll see me taking the pins out now, and I'll go ahead and use the 404 repositionable spray. Any temporary spray adhesive would work. Just a couple little squirts on the back away from my hoop so I don't make my hoop all sticky and icky, and then I'll bring it back up and I'll position it there again perfectly. Alrighty, I'm happy with the way it's positioned. I'm going to bring it into my machine right here and get ready to stitch. Okay, and after I place this in the machine, I'll show you how I use the snowman sticker even though I don't really have a laser light. But to me, it helps me to easily be able to align my needle dead center. Okay, and of course I need to make sure that none of my towel is underneath the part where the stitching will be. So I'm getting that out of the way and just checking underneath carefully. Okay, unfortunately my camera is at a bad angle for you to see what I'm doing here. What I'm going to do here is just go around the outside edge. Then I'm going to see where the center spot is for my design and put the needle down and see if that is exactly where the needle down is, or the center is in my design. Okay, since I have it lined up perfectly now, I can take my template off and I'm ready to roll. Okay, it's finished embroidering. I had many problems while I was doing this. I didn't check my tension when I was doing these leaves, and it finished all of them, and I realized they looked horrible. So I went back over them again, and then I was afraid it was going to be really messed up. But anyway, I think I decided just to go ahead and do it because I really need to take this to the recipient this morning. And so I wanted to finish it. So let's hope for the best. Take this apart. Oh, it's looking really good. And I ended up putting floating another piece of tearaway under these leaves when I was redoing it because I was really afraid of how it was going to turn out. So let's see how it looks. All right. Okay, I'm really satisfied with how this looks. I think it looks really pretty. I'll turn this over and start tearing away the tearaway one layer at a time. I may work a little bit further, but I don't think you need to see me do that on camera. So I'll just trim up these threads back here to make it look neater. And look for any threads on the front. Fix it up a little bit better on the back. But all in all, I'm very satisfied with how this turned out. And I ended up, like I said, putting their name on it just to customize it a little bit more. Well, thanks so much for joining me. I hope you like this tutorial. Let me know with a thumbs up or a subscription, a subscriber if you're not already. Also, check out my links down below. I mentioned Merrily today. I mentioned Embrilliance. I have all those links down below. I'll have a link for the towels that I used, as well as if I can remember where I got it, I'll have the Designs by Juju file. So, thanks so much for joining me, and I hope to see you all again soon. Bye for now.